Sup? Alright, so it's been a long time since I vlogged, and I think I said in my last vlog, like, I'm kind of chilling on the everyday vlog. It was just taking up too much time, but I do like the idea of like maybe like once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, just checking in. Yeah, the everyday vlog, like, I liked it, and I'm glad that I tried it, but I think it was just too time consuming. At least uploading them to YouTube every day, like, especially since they're kind of just for me. They're not like, I'm not trying to get popular vlogging. It's more of like a time capsule type thing. The useful thing about YouTube is it basically stores all the videos for me on their database, so I don't have to like store them on my own computer or my own hard drive, because they are like, videos take up a lot of space. You know, it's like thousands of moving images, so it's just like, it's a high price to pay on your computer. Anyways, not much has changed since last time we did vlog. I'm still just going to the studio. Now I'm going 4 days a week, and getting a lot of music work done. Like, I'm making a song like every 2 or 3 days. I'm gonna try to get that up once I get faster. But yeah, today actually I made an interesting decision today. Something it was kind of spontaneous and kind of out of the blue, but I guess it wasn't that spontaneous. I've been thinking about it for a while. But there's these. So I'm super into Magic now. I remember in one of my vlogs, I said I've decided I'm gonna start playing again. And at that time, I didn't really know how much I was gonna get into it. So once I started, it all kind of spiraled from there. And now I'm like, it's like one of the most important and fun things in my life. Like, you know, I have music, which is like the number one thing in my life. When it comes to like my personal stuff, obviously like family and stuff is important too. But when it comes to like my personal independent life, music is like number one. And but then, like, you know, writing and Magic are like both pretty close behind. And you know, Magic, it's really a nice source of fun for me. It's a nice source of inspiration too, since I love fantasy, and I'm currently writing a fantasy novel. It's a nice source of inspiration for that, because just like the creatures and the artwork and just everything about the game is it's very inspiring. So I kind of made a decision today that I was going to become a little bit more invested in the game. I was going to do that by literally investing, and you know, not only investing money but also investing time. Like, I decided that I'm okay with putting more time into this game that I really like, as long as it doesn't distract me from what's more important, like my career, like my music career, or my book. As long as I really just like consider it free time in a sense, and not work time. However, I did put some work in today. I did a lot of research. There's this website called MTG Stocks, which is short for Magic the Gathering Stocks. And basically you can look at like the market trends and the prices on everything, and all the cards and stuff. And it's really fun. I feel like I'm learning, you know, investment techniques and tactics. And I've never like actually tried investing before, and it's actually really fun. Like, you know, trying to read like the market and stuff like that. It's really fun. So yeah, I put some work in today, and I spent $750. Now, like, there's these cards called fetch lands, and these cards called shock lands. They're pretty expensive. They're like $10 to $15 a card. Some of them are $8, and they're some of the most used cards in Magic, and some of the best, most powerful cards in Magic, and you need them to play competitively in almost every format, which is like the format is what you call each game type. So the big ass fire truck coming. So about like 500 of that 750 is in shock lands or fetch lands. So basically, I'm those cards. I'm almost certain will never go down in price. So the way I kind of see buying those cards is like I'm basically spending $500 to buy $600 or more. Honestly, I think it is possible for me to double my money over the course of like a few years, maybe 5 years. But basically, my point is buying those cards. There is a very, 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 very small chance that the value will end up going down to lower than what I spent on them, which means that I'm buying cards that are going to make me money, and are going to allow me to play Magic for the next 5 years or whatever, or however long I decide to keep them. Maybe even more than that. If I wait 20 years, they might be $100 each. So, because that's what happens with the original dual lands. The original dual lands in Magic are now the cheapest one is 180, I think, for one card. The most expensive one's like 300 something. So, if I wait 20 years, I might just make 300% back. Actually, no, that's way more than 300%. It's like 3,000%. So yeah, I don't think it's a risky investment. I do have to be patient, but I can afford it right now, and it'll allow me to play the game that I really like at a competitive level. Now, there are 10 different fetch lands, and I bought 4 of each of 5 of them, so I have 20 total. And there's also 10 different shock lands, and I bought 4 of each of all 10, so I have 40 shock lands now and 20 fetch lands. And the shock lands, those things are going up no matter what, because they reprinted them within the last 2 years. Reprint means it means exactly what it sounds like. They came out with new shock lands. They reprinted them. So that happened 2 years ago, around the time I started playing competitively, actually. Actually, no, I started playing competitively. So, no, they came out more like 4 years ago. The fetch lands, on the other hand, are more valuable because the shock lands only see play in some of the older formats, while the fetch lands see play in all of the older formats. So the fetch lands are, 10 years from now, they'll end up being more valuable than the shock lands. But there are some rumors that the Onslaught fetches, which are the ones that didn't get reprinted last year, so 5 out of 10 of them got reprinted last year, and people are speculating that the other 5 are going to come out within the next couple years. So if that happens, what will probably end up happening is the 5 that I bought will probably end up going down in price. However, that's okay because I don't plan on selling them anytime soon. Like, I doubt I'll sell any of these lands for the next 5 years at least. And I'm almost certain that by then I will have made money. Now, I'm not buying them necessarily for the sole purpose of making money. In fact, the sole purpose I bought these lands is because they allow me to play Magic. And the reason the reason I allowed myself to spend that much money on cards is that they're going to allow me to play the game for as long as I want them to. And then when I'm done with the game, if that is in the foreseeable future, maybe I'll just play my whole life. I could totally see playing my whole life. Like, Magic is something that when you're younger and you're full of energy, you want to compete. But it's also something that when you're older and you have like a career and family and everything, it's still something you can do in your free time. Have a beer, hang out with your friends, play some Magic. It's just like a relaxing, fun thing to do. It also stimulates your mind, so I'm sure it fights against some sorts of diseases like Alzheimer's or whatever, like Alzheimer's and dementia and what have you. So yeah. So I bought the lands, and like I said, I think about 500, maybe like 550 of that 750 was in lands. And so you might be wondering, or I might be wondering, my future self who's watching this might be wondering, so what was that extra 200 for? And the extra 200 was for cards that I want to play with in the future that were cheap. Well, basically most of the cards I bought were under $1, so that 200 adds up to like almost 200 cards. Yeah, some of that 200 was some other speculations I'm doing, more short-term speculations. For example, there is a card called Oath of Chandra, which this is hard to explain to someone who isn't playing Magic, but every few months a set comes out, and each set has like between 200 and 300 new cards usually, and sometimes a card will be really bad, but then a new card will come out that will make that card that was bad, it'll make it good, because the way they interact, like there's a card, let's say there's a card A that would be good, there's a card A that does B, and it would be really good if it did C, but it doesn't do C, so it's bad. But then a new card comes out that actually does C, so now you have two cards that do B and C. Now it's good. That was a really strange way of explaining that, but anyways, there's this card called Oath of Chandra, and a month ago it was pretty bad, but a new set just came out, and there is a new card called Chandra. It's a planeswalker that seems like it's gonna make that card pretty good. So yeah, I'm doing a little speculation, because Oath of Chandra right now, it's a rare card, which means there's not that many of them out in the world, and they were only 30 cents each. So I think I bought like 30 of them for like $12 or something, and if they end up not being good, like I think they are, I think they're going to be good. But if they end up not being good, then so what? I lost $12 and I learned a lesson. But if they do end up being good, then I can trade them away for cards that I really need, because I'll have so many of them. I don't need 30 of them, so I can use them as kind of a Magic the Gathering currency. So it's kind of a low risk, high reward type situation, where it's like $12, or if they go up to $3 each, then I'm potentially like getting tenfold value in trades, because one of the best ways to get cards is to trade, because you don't have to directly spend money. So anyways, this has been a really long vlog. I'm gonna end it here, and yeah, I'm pretty into Magic.